Hello everyone and welcome back to the One Stop Co-op Shop. This is Colin and today we're going to do our fourth playthrough of Marvel Champions. We're going to do the first Green Goblin scenario. This one I think is definitely easier than the second one. So I'm going to play this one with actually the two new heroes that just came out. Kamala Khan or Miss Marvel and Steve Rogers or Captain America. Now, I have never even played Miss Marvel yet, so we will be experiencing that deck together for the first time. I have definitely played Captain America. So we're playing Captain America with leadership. He works great with leadership. And Miss Marvel, I'm going to give a shot with aggression. Okay, so those are the aspects that we're going to play with. Over here, we have our Nemesis cards. I am going to be playing on expert modes. We have our standard and expert cards here. Over here, we have our obligation cards. Over here, we have Norman Osborn. Since I'm playing at expert level, we'll do level 2, level 3. And Green Goblin is on the other side. So he has an alter ego form, which is cool. We're going to be doing the corporate acquisition. Oh, that's number 2A. Whoops. So we're actually going to start with hostile takeover as our scenario. And then it'll get to number 2 if we get there. And then this is our encounter set. And then our additional encounter set that I'm going to use is the running interference. I thought this looked pretty cool. It's one of the encounter sets that comes with the Green Goblins, one of the ones that you can just choose and play with. Let's go ahead and take a look at Miss Marvel and Captain America and get ourselves set up. Oh, and of course, our scheme. Risky business. Hello, heroes. As you know, Norman Osborn is a ruthless businessman and the head of the multinational corporation Oscorp. We also have intel that he's fueling a large crime operation. Unfortunately, Osborn has set his sights on purchasing a failing branch of Stark Industries. Not only would this bring a surge to Oscorp stock, but we're certain he's planning to use the Stark tech to enhance his criminal enterprise. While directly taking down Osborn is out of the question, we think that you can provoke Osborn by targeting his criminal enterprise, forcing his alter ego, the Green Goblin, to come out to play. Here we have our hostile takeover. It says, setup. Put the criminal enterprise environment into play, shuffle the encounter deck, advance to stage 1B. Norman Osborn holds a board meeting, plotting to take over a branch of Stark Industries. This has a when completed effect, so when there is 14 threat on here, we will place 2 infamy counters on criminal enterprise, then discard 1 card from each player's deck for each infamy counter on criminal enterprise. This actually starts with threat. First time we've seen that. So we're going to start with 4 threat on this card to start with. And then we'll be placing 1 per player during the scenario. No, that should be a 1, not a 5. There we go. Here we have Norman Osborn, level 2. He schemes for 2. His attack is a star. It says forced interrupt. When Norman Osborn would attack, place 2 infamy counters on criminal enterprise instead. Also, when Norman Osborn would take any amount of damage, remove that many infamy counters from criminal enterprise instead. He will start with a total of 36 health, 18 times 2. And then you can see when we flip him to the Green Goblin side, just so you can see, he has 4 attack. His scheme is starred. When this is revealed, by the way, we deal 4 indirect damage to each player. That means we can decide where we want to put that damage. It could go on allies, but it would be 4 to each player. So I'd have to do 4 for Captain America's team and 4 for Miss Marvel's team. And he has the same thing here except for thwarting. When Green Goblin would scheme, remove 1 madness counter from the state of madness instead. We start with a criminal enterprise. So this says criminal enterprise comes into play with 2 times 2 because there's going to be 2 players. So we're going to place 4 counters here. If there are no more infamy counters, flip Norman Osborn and criminal enterprise. And just so you guys can see, when this gets flipped, it gets flipped to State of Madness. State of Madness enters play with 4 madness counters on it. If there are no madness counters on here, flip Green Goblin and the State of Madness. So he flips back. So you can see essentially what we're trying to do is we have to damage Norman Osborn by removing those criminal enterprise counters. Then he'll turn into Green Goblin and we can actually hit him. Then he'll attack us. And then when he gets rid of his madness, he will jump back into being Norman. And then we'll have to do this again. Now for the heroes. We've got Steve Rogers. He is a recovery of 3, so if we use him just to recover, he will recover 3 health. He is a living legend. Reduce the cost of the first ally played each round by 1, and I would say that's any ally from any player. First time that ally comes out, it's reduced by 1. Setup. Search your deck and discard pile for Captain America's shield upgrade and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. So that happens after we do our mulligans. So after we do our mulligans, we can grab that shield, even if we drew it and then put it in the discard pile, back into our hand. Our hand size is 6 on this side. We have 11 hit points. On the Captain America side, we're a 2 right across the board, and I love this ability. I can do this all day. Favorite part of the movie. Action. Discard 1 card from your hand. Ready, Captain America. Limit once per round. Here we have Kamala Khan. I think I'm saying that right. Her recovery is 5. That's insane. That's half her health. Her health is 10. So she has an ability on her alter ego side called Team Spirit. Action. Discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard a Miss Marvel card, then add that card to your hand. Limit once per round. She has a hand size of 6 on this side with 10 hit points. And then on her Miss Marvel side, she's 1s across the board, and she has Morphogenetics response. After you play an attack, thwart, or defense event, exhaust Miss Marvel and return that event to your hand. And that's a response. That means we can even do it during the villain phase. We can do it as a response to playing maybe a defense card. Kind of cool. Hand size of 5 on this side. I'm really excited to play her. I have no idea what it's going to be like, especially with aggression. It could be pretty fun, though. We could use events multiple times. Here we have Captain America's first hand. I love the Avengers Mansion, definitely the energy. I think I'm going to go ahead and discard these 2 cards to, you know what? Yeah, just those 2 to draw 2 more. And we've got Agent 13 and we've got Maria Hill. Great, we have Maria Hill. That's awesome. Here we have our hand for Kamala. Definitely don't need first aid, and there are no minions out, so I'm going to drop both Relentless Aids. That's kind of a lot, but I am hoping that we can get some better starting cards. So we've got, Sneak By. We've got Hulk. And we've got another Sneak By. So that's our 6 cards. Well, I always have a hard time not starting with Maria Hill. So let's start with Steve Rogers playing Maria Hill. Now, he can reduce the cost of the first ally played this round. So she is only a cost of 1. So we'll use his helmet to go ahead and put out Maria Hill. That means we each get to draw a card. So he will draw a Fearless Determination, and Kamala will go ahead and draw a card, and she gets Mockingbird. Then we're going to go ahead and play the Avengers Mansion. We're going to use Energy plus the Triskelion and the Fearless Determination. That is 4 resources to play out the Avengers Mansion, and we are going to use that to immediately draw a card, and we get another Avengers Mansion, which we'll immediately use as a resource to put out our shield. Look at our shield. Okay, this is a restricted card. It's the first time we've seen restricted cards. That means you can have a max of 2 restricted cards per player. Okay, so it's not per ally or per character like it was in Lord of the Rings. This is max 2 in total. Captain America gets +1 defense and gains Retaliate 1 while he has his shield out. So I think what I'll do is I'll now flip Steve over to Captain America's side. He's a 2/2/2 across the board. We also have Maria Hill that is ready for us. So we're going to exhaust Maria Hill and have her take a point of damage to then remove 2 threat from the hostile takeover. So the 2 threat that we have on there is off. We've got 2 remaining. Then I believe I'm going to use Captain America to remove the final 2 threat. So there's no threat on hostile takeover. Here we go. And then it's the decision time. Do I want to? I think, with Norman, I'm going to go slow. So I'm not going to use Captain America's ability. I like Agent 13 that's in my hand. So I'm going to leave Agent 13. I'll just end Captain America's turn. For Kamala, first thing we're going to do is our Team Spirit. So we're going to take a card, discard it. Oh, man, that's not... Oh, okay. She's going to get Amar Khan into her hand. Exhaust Amar Khan, place 1 card from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck, then draw a card. Ooh, that's a cool ability. So I'll put that into my hand, and this gets discarded. I think we're going to go ahead then and use Sneak By as a resource to put out Amir Khan, and we're going to use the ability since we're still on our alter ego. So exhaust this to place a card that is in our discard pile onto the bottom of our deck. So I'm definitely going to grab that Genius that we just lost. I'll put that down at the bottom of our deck, and we get to draw a card. That's a really cool ability. And we're going to get Melee. That's a hero action. Deal 3 damage to an enemy and deal 3 damage to another enemy. We'll now go ahead and flip ourselves over to the Miss Marvel side. We're then going to spend these 3 resources, 2 from the Power of Aggression, plus the 1 of Sneak By for Tigra. And we're going to use these 3 resources for Mockingbird, which will mean we will stun Norman Osborn. I believe it's to stun an enemy. I'm assuming that you can stun Norman, I would assume. We'll find out if I'm right or wrong on that one. We're going to play I can. But yeah, so now we've got these 2 allies out as well. We're then going to go ahead and use Miss Marvel and Tigra, doing 1 point of damage to him, to do 3 points of damage to Norman. That just means we're going to remove 3 out of the 4 on the Criminal Enterprise. I'm not quite ready for him to flip yet, so I'm just going to leave that 1 there. I could flip, but then he's going to do damage to us, and I'm not going to be able to attack him. So I'm going to wait until next round to do that. So, yep, I think that'll end our turn. We have readied all of our cards on the table, and we have drawn up to 5 cards. This is Captain America's hand, and this is Miss Marvel's hand. 2 Avengers Mansions. Moving to that villain phase, we'll place 2 threat on the hostile takeover. He will then try and attack Captain America. Normally has this forced interrupt, but I believe the stun still works. You guys let me know if that's wrong. I'm feeling more and more like that wasn't right, like maybe I can't stun him. I don't know, but we're just going to leave it. And then he will try and attack Miss Marvel, which just means he'll put 1 on the Criminal Enterprise. When Norman Osborn would take any... Oh, no, here we go. When Norman Osborn would attack, place 2 infamy counters. Oh, got to place the second one. So now there's 3 there. We'll end the villain phase by drawing our encounter cards, starting with Captain America. We have, okay, in hero form, the villain attacks you. So when Norman attacks, he's simply going to place 2 more Criminal Enterprise tokens. So that's now there's a total of 5 there. Oh, I can see how this is going to get bad. And our second one here, we have attached your identity card. Attached character cannot ready or change form. Spend 1 mental and 1 physical resource to discard this. So we're not able to change form. That is so cool. Okay, this is from the new running interface interference encounter set. So that goes on to Miss Marvel. We'll end this round by moving the first player token over to Miss Marvel. Well, there's nothing like card draw in this game, so I'm going to go ahead and play an Avengers Mansion for Miss Marvel, spending all 4 of these resources. I will then immediately exhaust that so that we can draw a card. Or do I want to let Captain... You know what? I'm going to do that and let Captain America draw, because I only have 1 card in my hand. So let's have Captain America draw a card, and he gets Heroic Strike. Oh, I love Heroic Strike. I'm then going to ask Captain America to play a hero action from his hand, and he's going to play Lead from the front. This says, choose a player. Each character that player controls gets +1 thwart attack until the end of the phase. He's going to use the power of leadership to pay for that. That's 2 leadership-specific resources. So now Miss Marvel is a 2 attack, Mockingbird is a 2 attack, and Tigra is a 3 attack. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Tigra again. I don't want her to die, but she can take another point of damage. She's attacking for 3. That's going to remove 3 of these counters on Criminal Enterprise. Then we're going to use Mockingbird. Mockingbird's attacking for 2, so she'll take a point of damage. But then we remove the 2 remaining tokens on Criminal Enterprise. Now we're going to hold on Miss Marvel because we have to flip Criminal Enterprise and Norman. Criminal Enterprise flips over to State of Madness. State of Madness enters play with 4 madness counters on it. If there are no madness counters on it, flip Green Goblin. So we'll place 4 counters on here. And then we have the Green Goblin. Green Goblin says, when revealed, deal 4 indirect damage to each player. Well, I'm going to have each of us just soak that. So that means that Miss Marvel is going to go down to 6, and Captain America is going to go from 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, down to 7. Okay, now it's indirect. We could have put that on some of our allies. Yeah, you know what? Let me be smart. I'm going to give 1 back to Miss Marvel. She'll go to 7, and I'll do a 2nd point of damage to Mockingbird. I think that's worth it. But now Miss Marvel is still ready. We can still use her. She's tied up, but she's not able to change her form, but she's still able to do her ability or attack. So we're going to use her for 2 because she is leading from the front. So we have Green Goblin going down to 34 health. On Captain America's side, we'll go ahead and exhaust his Avengers Mansion so he can draw another card, and he gets Mockingbird. We're going to spend 3 resources here to go ahead and play Heroic Strike. This has a hero action, attack, deals 6 damage to an enemy. Yeah, I'm gonna hit Green Goblin. If you paid for this card using a physical resource, which we did, also stun him. So we just stunned the Green Goblin. Love it. And we hit him for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's down to 28 total health. We've got Captain America and Maria left. We're going to go ahead and use up Maria for a whopping 1 attack and Captain America for 2 attacks. So that's a total of 3. Okay, so he'll go down 28, 7, 6, 5. And I do have one card in my hand, but it's another Heroic Strike. I want to use it again next round, so I'm going to keep that in my hand, and I'm not going to ready Captain America. And Maria is gone. Finally, I think I am going to go ahead and flip Captain America back over to Steve Rogers. We've then readied everything and drawn our hands back up. We have 6 for Steve Rogers because he's in Alter Ego, and 5 for Miss Marvel. We'll start the villain phase by placing 2 more threat here. We then move to the villain attacking. It'll attack Miss Marvel first, stunned, so we'll just remove the stunned token. And then he's going to scheme for Steve Rogers, but instead of scheming, we remove 1 of the points. Actually, I think it's 2. When Green Goblin would scheme, remove 1 madness counter. Nope, so it's just 1. So he won't flip back over until he's no longer pissed. He's mad still, so we're okay. Now let's reveal our encounter cards. Our card for Miss Marvel will be Caught Off Guard. Discard an upgrade or support you control. An upgrade. You know what? I love Amar, but I'm going to discard Amar. That Avengers Mansion is just too good, especially because I can use it in hero form and I'm stuck in hero form. So, I hate Caught Off Guard. It's so annoying. All in a day's work. When revealed, place 2 infamy counters on Criminal Enterprise. Can't do that if you cannot remove 2 madness counters from the State of Madness. Oh, interesting. So that removes 2 out of the 3 State of Madness counters. There's only 1 left, and then he'll jump back in to Norman Osborn. Our final step, we'll move our first player back over to Steve Rogers. Our first step as Steve Rogers is we are going to use our Avengers Mansion and draw a card, and we get lead from the front. As much as I want to be able to play Vision that's in my hand, I got to go with a stun, right? I'm going to flip Captain America, and then we're going to play a Heroic Strike. We'll pay for this Heroic Strike using Vision, Lead the Front, and Shield Toss, and one of those is a physical resource, so that's going to deal 6 damage and stun him. Awesome. I love stunning the villain. It just protects you so much. And 6 damage, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That puts him down to 19. Just so our threat does not get out of hand, we're going to use Captain America twice, using his I Can Do This All Day and discarding Make the Call to remove all 4 threat from the hostile takeover. I don't want that to accidentally jump up. Moving to Miss Marvel, let's go ahead and grab an Avengers Mansion, and we will draw a card. Oh, we get Red Dagger. Well, we might as well have a little bit of fun, right? We're going to do an uppercut. Deal 5 damage to an enemy. We're going to hit the big man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That puts him down to 14. We're spending the energy and the first aid. Then what we're going to do is we're going to use our abilities. This is the first time that we're doing this. It says that response, after you play an attack, thwart, or defense event, this is an attack event, we can exhaust her to put that back into our hand. So let's put uppercut back into our hand. And spending the 3 resources that we have left here in our hand, I did want to get the Red Dagger out, but it's just too good. We're going to do another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's at 9 total health. We're both in hero form, so we each drew 5 cards. Look at this. I've got another Heroic Strike. That's another 6 damage and another stun. This is great. We'll place our 2 threat onto the hostile takeover. And then Green Goblin would try and attack Captain America. Can't. We're going to lose the stunned. And then he is going to successfully attack Miss Marvel. I'm going to defend with Mockingbird. That's the whole reason I have her. So he's attacking for 4... we've got a star. What's our boost? Place 1 infamy counter on Criminal Enterprise. If you cannot, remove 1 madness counter. Oh, so he's going to flip. Bummer. So that attack definitely killed Mockingbird. That'll remove this token. We'll flip both of these back over. And we're going to have to deal with that 4 indirect damage later. And we're going to have to put 4 tokens on to the Criminal Enterprise. Here are our encounter cards. We'll start with Captain America. He gets all in a day's work. Place 2 infamy counters on Criminal Enterprise, which we can do. We just flipped to that. So that means there are 6 there. And then let's see, what's this one? Oh, Home by Dawn. You may flip to alter ego form, but I don't think I can because I'm all tied up. Oh, so we can't do exhaust and remove this from the game. We have to discard 1 persona, which we don't have one. If no support was discarded this way, this card gains surge, and we have to discard this. Okay, so that does nothing. Miss Marvel is actually still ready. She couldn't flip. And so then we instead get payoff. So don't worry about this boost. This is just with 4 threat, and then we're going to have to reveal an additional encounter card while that's out. Hopefully we can take care of that at the beginning of the next round. Finally, we'll move our first player token over to Miss Marvel. We're going to go ahead and use our Avengers Mansion to draw a card, and we get Nakia Badir. Exhaust Nakia Badir, reduce the cost of the next card you play this phase by 1. Oh, yeah, I need to get rid of being tied up. I'm going to spend both of these resources to go ahead and discard all tied up. That is such a great and annoyingly annoying card. I really want to get Embiggen on to the table, so this is an upgrade. It says Hero Interrupt. When you play an attack event, exhaust Embiggen, increase the amount of damage that event deals by 2. So I'm going to go ahead and use Sneak By and Chase them down as my 2 resources to play that. I'm not even going to attack or use an attack event, but at least I have that on the table. I'm then going to go ahead and exhaust, or I should say flip, Kamala, and I'm going to use her action. Come on, to keep discarding cards until we find one that's one of hers. Sweet. We've got the, what is that called? The Biokinetic Polymer Suit. Oh, that gives her a free resource. Oh, what am I going to do? I like the free resource, especially because it's in hero form, so I'm going to discard Nakia Badir to play out the Biokinetic Polymer Suit, and then we can use this to generate a wild resource whenever she's in hero form. And the final thing we're going to do is we're just going to exhaust to go ahead and move ourselves up to 10 health, because we know once we flip Norman, we're going to have to take 4 damage. For Captain America, let's go ahead and use our Avengers Mansion. We'll draw a card. Ooh, we get Fearless Determination, which, you know what, we might as well play. Captain America gets +1 thwart until the end of the phase, and we draw a card. So let's draw a card, and we get Squirrel Girl. We're going to go ahead and play Heroic Strike. We're going to spend these 3 resources. That means he's going to be able to stun. I still don't know if that's right or not, but I'm going to play it can stun because it makes sense. 6 total. We'll get rid of all 6 on the Enterprise. 2, 4, 6, which means this will flip to State of Madness, which means we're going to be taking some indirect damage, but at least the Green Goblin is going to be stunned. Norman will flip himself over to the Green Goblin, dealing 4 indirect damage to each player. So that means Kamala will go 1, 2, 3, 4, down to 6. And Captain America, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's down to 3 health. Well, this wasn't perfect, but we're going to go ahead and use Captain America. Remember, his thwart is 3. So we're going to thwart for 3 to get rid of 3 out of the 4 on the payoff. Okay, and that's going to exhaust him. Then we're going to discard. I hate to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to discard Steve's Apartment. This would give us healing and card draw, but I'm going to do that to ready him so he can do it again and get rid of the payoff. I really don't want that additional encounter card. Yeah, it just seems like that was expensive. I'm leaving these 2 cards in my hand, but I really like that shield block. So we've ended the hero phase. We've readied everything. Kamala's got 6 cards in her hand. Captain America has 5, looking pretty good. Let's move to the villain phase. First step of the villain phase, 2 more threat on the hostile takeover. Then Green Goblin will have to scheme for Kamala, which just means we'll remove 1 State of Madness counter, because it is 1, right? Remove 1 madness. And then he'll try and attack Captain America, but he's stunned. So we'll just discard that. Now we will draw our encounter cards. Kamala, who's first player, will go first. She gets Tombstone. Okay, force response. After Tombstone attacks and damage you, discard a mental or physical resource from your hand if able. 9 health, you guys, and he attacks for 3. That's also from the encounter set. And we have Oscorp Manufacturing. Blah, 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 blah. When revealed, Norman Osborn. He's not in Norman Osborn, so we don't have to do that. So if he was in Norman Osborn's alter ego form, we'd have to place additional threat, but we don't. We just place 4 threat here, and what we know is that as long as that's out, we have 1 acceleration token. Ooh, that was a brutal double flip here. 9 health for Tombstone. Where's my 6 damage and stun? That'd be nice to actually throw onto Tombstone. Final step for this round, we'll go ahead and move our first player token over to Captain America. To start off with Captain America, we'll go ahead and use Avengers Mansion. We will draw a card, and we get Hawkeye. We're then going to spend the 2 resources from our Genius to play our Super Soldier Serum. This says exhaust Super Soldier Serum and generate a physical resource, and we're going to do that to play Inspired. Attached to an ally, max 1 per ally, we're going to drop that onto Tigra because we can put, this has also been confirmed, when it says attached to an N ally, it can be any ally, even if it's not yours. So that's going to go on to Tigra. She will now be a 3 attack, and then if she kills a minion, she will not, or kills a character, I think it's a minion. It's a minion. She'll heal that damage. So I know she's got 2 damage on her, but hopefully she can help take out Tombstone then, and when she does that, she won't die. We're then going to use Captain America to thwart for 2. Get rid of 2 on the Oscorp Manufacturing, and then we're going to discard the Helicarrier to go ahead and ready him. We're going to flip him to this side, and we're going to use his recover so he can go to 6. Oops. 4, 5, 6. We need to heal him, especially if once we get to the next Green Goblin one, I think we're taking 4 indirect damage, something like that. So we need to make sure we have some health for that. For Kamala, we're going to start off using the Avengers Mansion. We're going to draw a card, and we get wiggle room. We're then going to use our action and discard cards from our deck until we get, big hands. That is one of our cards that goes into our hand. Then I believe we are most definitely going to flip to hero form. We're then going to go ahead and spend these 3 resources to play melee, and we are going to use our hero interrupt. When you play an attack event, which this is an attack event, it's an event with an attack, we get to increase the amount to 5. And I confirmed, not me, but I saw it confirmed by Caleb that it increases both attacks. So hero attack, deal 3 damage to an enemy, deal 3 damage to another. We're going to deal 5 damage to Green Goblin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's 4 health. And we're going to deal 5 total damage to Tombstone. 3, 4, 5. What do you say we do that again, huh? We're going to exhaust Miss Marvel to put melee back into our hand. Okay, we can do that because that was an attack event. We'll then exhaust our biokinetic polymer suit for 1 resource, use these 2 for the total of 3, and we're going to do 3 damage and 3 damage again. So we're going to hit Green Goblin down to 1, and with 3 damage to Tombstone, that's 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 2. Oh my gosh, he's still not dead. That's only 8 damage. Fortunately, we have Tigra. Tigra has 3 attack thanks to the Inspired. So she'll go ahead and attack for 3. That will kill Tombstone. She then will heal 1 because of her response, and then she takes a point of consequential damage. So she still has the 2, but Tombstone is gone. Thank goodness. Man, that 9 health. But then Tigra is still alive and kicking, but she is exhausted, so we used her. We've gone ahead and readied everything. We left Miss Marvel in hero form. Steve is in alter ego form, so he drew 6. And you can see here we've got our wiggle room, which is good, but I'm a little worried about our threat. We didn't get rid of any threat. We still got the Oscorp manufacturing out, so we're going to have 1 escalation token. Ugh. Moving to that villain phase, we're going to move this all the way up to 7 from 4 because of that escalation token. Green Goblin will scheme because of Steve Rogers, so we'll remove 1 of the State of Madness tokens, so we're down to only 2. And then Green Goblin is going to attack Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel's going to take it on the chin, so he's attacking for 4 plus 1 is 5. Fortunately, she has wiggle room, so this says Hero Interrupt. When you would take any amount of damage, prevent 3 of that damage, so she'll take 2 damage, so she'll go 6, 5, 4, and she's going to get to draw a card. So she'll grab this and put this Relentless Assault into her hand. And then I think I'm going to exhaust her because I can do this and put this back into our hand. That being able to prevent 3 damage and draw a card, awesome. Yeah, putting that back into our hand. I forgot to mention that Miss Marvel had to shuffle her deck, so she has 2 encounter cards. Steve just has 1. So he has this card gain Surge because he's in alter ego form. He gets man out of time. Well, he's just going to exhaust to get rid of that one. So it says you may flip to alter ego. He's already there. Exhaust Steve Rogers, remove mana time from game, or you can discard half of the cards in your hand rounded down and then discard this obligation. No, we're just going to get rid of it. Okay, Miss Marvel has 2 of these and she's exhausted. I'm a little nervous. We will see. Okay, we have running interference. When revealed, each player must choose to either spend 2 either spend one physical and one mental resource or place 2 threat here. I think I'm just going to do the threat. I don't want to do resources. So we're placing 2 for 6 total threat here, and this is a crisis token or icon. So that means we can't remove any from the hostile takeover until we remove these 6. That maybe was not a good idea. Hold on, let me look at my hand. You know what? We're just going to do it because that's what I said, so we're going to do that. We have master plan. Place 4 threat on each side scheme. If they're not... Oh, that's hilarious. That was brutal. So we just put 10 threat on running interference. Okay, that was absolutely horrendous. Well, we've got a lot of thwarting to do. Let's move our first player token over to Miss Marvel. Let's see what we can do for thwarting. To start us off, let's go ahead and use our Avengers Mansion, and we will draw a card for Miss Marvel, and she gets Nick Fury. Ooh, that could be nice. We're definitely going to play Nick Fury using these 4 resources. So now what we can do with Nick, he's got a lot of different options. We can remove 2 threat from a scheme, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage. I really want to draw the 3 cards, but I'm really worried about threat. So something, you guys, I almost forgot. Master plan. Master plan was each side scheme. There were 2 side schemes out. So now the Oscorp Manufacturing has 6, and the Running Interference has 10. So I am definitely going to use Nicholas Fury to get rid of 2 threat from here. So that's going to move this down to only having, 8 on here. And then I'm going to use him and exhaust him to remove 2 more threat. So we only have 6 on here. Then I think I'm going to use this resource here as a wild to go ahead and heal 2 damage from any character. I'm going to heal the 2 from us. So Miss Marvel is back up to 6. Then we're going to move over to Steve Rogers. We're going to exhaust the Avengers Mansion and go ahead and draw a card. And we've got Wonder Man. Because we're in Steve Rogers form, Falcon will only cost 3, so we're going to spend these 3 resources to bring him out. He has a sweet response. After Falcon enters play, look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. For each treachery looked at this way, remove 1 threat from the scheme. So I'm going to grab the top 3 cards of the encounter deck, and we get to look at them, and I'm assuming we put them back in order. We've got, oh my gosh, 2 advances and a private security. So we get to remove 2 threat from a scheme. I'm going to go ahead and remove 2 from the running interference. That'll put it down to 4 threat. I'm going to then use the Falcon, okay, and do a point of damage to move that down to 2 threat. We're getting there, you guys. We're getting there. Then let's go ahead and flip Steve Rogers over to Captain America. We're going to discard Nick Fury to ready him, and we'll use him for 2 thwart. Getting rid of running interference. Okay, that is great. We still have 6 on on Osborne Manufacturing and 7 on Hostile Takeover, but we're at least moving in the general right direction. Then, just because it seems too good to be true, I'm going to go ahead and use my Super Soldier Serum and this shield block to put out another Super Soldier Serum. They're not unique, so I can have both of them out. So now I'll have tons of resources going forward. We've now completed the round, readied all of our characters. We're both in hero form, so we each have 5 cards. Now we'll go to the villain phase. I need to remember that Captain America needs to draw 1 encounter card because he shuffled, and we know what this is. This is an advance, okay? So we know what that is. We're going to have to increase threat by 3, so this is at 10. If this gets to 14, we move to the next card. Green Goblin is now going to go ahead and attack, starting at Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is going to just take it, okay, and we're going to flip. Okay, place 1 infamy counter on the criminal enterprise. If you cannot, remove 1 madness token. So we'll remove 1 madness, and he's attacking for 4, so we'll go ahead and use Wiggle Room. We reduce that damage by 3 and draw a card, but we still take 1, so we'll go down to 5, but we'll draw a new card, and we get Uppercut. Okay, and then Green Goblin is going to attack Captain America, but we have Nick Fury over here on Miss Marvel's side. She's going to defend with him. So she's going to defend with Nick Fury, and we should have known. Yeah, 4 damage. That will take out Nick Fury, but that way Captain America doesn't take damage. Miss Marvel is first player, so she'll reveal her 1. Oh, we've just got another side scheme, 4 threat on it. Yeah, this is where we're going to have a hard time is our scheming. We don't have enough threat reduction. Captain America gets a wonderful 2 cards. First, he gets Surge, exhaust your identity card. So he will become exhausted. That will surge into a hired gun. When revealed, choose to either give the villain 1 face-down boost card or place 2 infamy counters on Criminal Enterprise. Well, Criminal Enterprise is not out. State of Madness is out right now, so I have to give Green Goblin a boost card. Okay, and then Hired Gun is engaged with Captain America. Finally a minion, though. And our second one is Advance, so we know what that is, the villain schemes. That means that the last token on State of Madness is removed, and we're going to move to the Criminal Enterprise. So what we'll do is we'll flip Green Goblin over to Norman, and Criminal Enterprise will flip, and we place 4 tokens on here. Man, he literally has 1 health left in here, but I wasn't quite ready to deal with the 4 damage when we flipped him, and yeah, now we're dealing with it. Okay, finally, first player token is going to move over to Captain America. For Captain America, first thing we'll do is exhaust Avengers Mansion, and we get Hawkeye. We're going to go ahead and play a Fearless Determination. We will increase our thwart by 1, and we get to draw a card, and we get Shield Toss. We'll then go ahead and exhaust our Super Soldier Serum, and use the power of leadership to put out Hawkeye. Hawkeye's a 1/1, but the big thing is he comes out with 4 arrows. After a minion enters play, remove an arrow and deal 2 damage. So he'll have 4 arrows out, and he's a 1/1. We're then going to go ahead and play Make the Call, using Strength and 2 Shield Tosses for 4 to bring out Nick Fury from Miss Marvel's discard pile. And we're going to use his ability to... I'm going to draw 3 cards. It's just so good. I'm going to draw 3 cards. Here's our 3 cards we drew. We drew the Lockjaw, Genius, and the Triskelion. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the other Super Soldier Serum as 1 resource. We can use that as 1 physical resource to go ahead and put out the Triskelion. Okay, so that means that we can have 4 allies instead of just 3. Right now we have 3 out: Nick Fury, Hawkeye, and Falcon. We have our 3 allies here and Captain America. I'm going to discard Lockjaw to ready him. Remember, his thwart is +1 this round, so he's 3 thwart. So what I'm going to do is between these 2, we're going to thwart for a total of 4. That is going to then get rid of the payoff. The payoff needed 4. That is gone. Great. I'm then going to use both of these allies, Nick Fury and Falcon, to thwart for 4. I'll place 1 damage on him and 1 damage on Nick Fury. And we're going to do that on the hostile takeover here. So we're going to go from having 10 just to 6. Give us a little breathing room. I mean, we still have the Oscorp Corporation of 6 total thwart. I think we're going to have to deal with that at some point, but not yet. On Miss Marvel's side, Tigra will go ahead and attack for 3, taking out the hired gun. No problem. And she would heal this and then takes the damage. I love Inspired Tigress. Awesome. Then we've got our Avengers Mansion on this side, so we'll exhaust that to draw a card, and we've got Chase Them Down. I should have drawn that first. We could have removed 2 threat. I'm still not sure if this is the right thing to do, but we're going to do it. We're going to spend the 1 resource here, and then we'll spend 1 from Chase Them Down to then go ahead and play Big Hands. Deal 4 damage. We can embiggen them essentially to do 6, but that's not going to matter. That's just going to get rid of the 4 tokens on Criminal Enterprise. So those are removed, and now we're going to have the Green Goblin be revealed. That's going to place our 4 tokens on the State of Madness, and now the Green Goblin will be attacking us. And we have to deal 4 indirect damage per player, so that means Miss Marvel is going to go all the way down to 1. So I'm not sure I did that right. I'm going to have Nick Fury take a point of damage, and I'm going to have Hawkeye take a point of damage. So that's 2 damage on the Captain America side, and then he'll take the remaining 3, 4, 5, or no, only 2, because it was only a total of 4. Perfect. We're then going to take Miss Marvel and flip her over to the Kamala Khan side, and we're going to exhaust her to heal her for 5. So she's going to go all the way up to 6. Okay. Still, I don't know if this is the right thing, but it still feels like this is what I should do. And then let's go ahead and do her action. So we'll discard cards until we get one of her cards. And, oh boy, I'm going to be okay, here we go. We've got Bruno Carelli. Oh, this guy's awesome. Exhaust Bruno Carelli. Attach one card from your hand face down here. Exhaust Bruno Carelli. Add up to 3 cards attached here to your hand. Sweet. So yeah, I'm definitely going to play that. I'll spend Chase Them Down to put that out. So that's out on the table. And then I'm going to go ahead and exhaust Bruno Bardelli to place a melee. And I'm going to throw that underneath him. Okay, sweet. We've now ended the hero phase. Everything is ready. We've drawn up. We have Camila having a total of 6 cards. Captain America has 5. We'll place 3 threat for the beginning of the threat phase, villain phase, because of the +1 here. So we have 9 on hostile takeover. Green Goblin is now going to attack, so we'll grab a second boost card. He's going to attack Captain America. Captain America is going to use Nick Fury to defend. And we've got 3 boosts, so 4, 5, 6, 7. That was an attack of 7. Huh. Well, I think, I mean, you guys tell me. I think Nick Fury's toast. And if I remember right, that was Camilla's Nick Fury, so I put that into her discard pile. Then Green Goblin is going to scheme for Camilla, and we're just going to reduce the State of Madness down by 1. Here we have our encounter cards. We'll start with Captain America. We have a hired gun. Choose to either give the villain 1 face down boost card or place 2 infamy counters. Man, we've got to do the boost card. Oh, jeez. Oh, he will, though, come in with 2 points of damage. Heck yeah. Thank you, Hawkeye. So 2 points, and we'll remove 1 of his counters. Hit him with an arrow. And then on this side, we've got Private Security Specialist, just a guard. Oh, wow. He will also get hit from Hawkeye, thank you, for 2 out of the 4 damage. Perfect. We'll now go ahead and move our first player back over to Camila. Starting with Camila, let's do her action. So we'll go ahead and, oh, look at that. She's got Amar right away. Definitely going to pay for that. We like him. A lot of options, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to discard Uppercut to go ahead and put out Amar Khan. And this one says, exhaust Amar Khan to place 1 card from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck, then draw a card. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll exhaust Amar Khan. I'm going to place, let's grab Big Hands. What do you say? Let's grab Big Hands, pop that on the bottom of our deck. I like that. And we get to draw a card. So we will draw, and we get Big Hands. Cool. Then we're going to use Avengers Mansion to draw another card, and we get another Big Hands. Well, we found all 3 of our Big Hands. Then I think we're going to go ahead and exhaust Camila to go and heal ourselves all the way to full, to 10. Okay. And you're going to see why in a second. We're also going to use Tigra here. She attacks for 3. That'll take out this Private Security Specialist. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to exhaust Bruno Carelli, and we're going to place one of these Big Hands that we have in our hand down underneath her. Okay? We're going to have an awesome turn soon. Our problem is that we cannot do the last point of damage to Green Goblin right now because he will deal 4 direct damage to each player. Captain America has 4 health, so we need Captain America to heal a little bit before we move to the next step. We're going to flip ourselves from hero form, from alter ego form to hero form, so we can do some thwarting. We're going to spend this 1 resource and this Relentless Assault to go ahead and play Sneak By. Sneak By states that we can remove 3 threat from a scheme. I'm going to do 3 from the Osborn Corp, so we're going to go from 6 down to 3. We're then going to play the Red Dagger here. We have to spend 3. We've got 3 resources right here to bring him out. We've got an interrupt. When Red Dagger is defeated, spend 2 resources of different types, deal 2 damage to an enemy, and return this to our hand. We're going to go ahead and thwart with him. So he'll take a point of damage, but because of that, we're removing 2 out of the remaining 3 on the Oscorp Manufacturing. Then over here on the Captain America side, we're going to exhaust the Avengers Mansion to draw. We get Agent 13. We're going to go ahead and use Captain America to thwart for 2. That's going to get rid of this Oscorp Manufacturing, thank goodness. Then what we're going to do is discard Lead from the front so that we can ready him. We're going to flip him, and then we're going to exhaust Steve Rogers by 3, so he can heal by 3. So he's at 7. We're then going to spend 3 resources to go ahead and put out a Mockingbird. That will then stun the Green Goblin. With Mockingbird, we're going to go ahead and deal the final blow to stage 2 of the villain. So the villain's going to go down to 0. Green Goblin has been defeated the first time, but now we're going to have to deal some damage. Green Goblin level 3 will have 44 total health. He has a when revealed deal 4 damage to each player. So Miss Marvel will go down to 6, and Steve Rogers, 1, 2, 3, 4, will go down to 3 health again. Ugh. Then we're going to take out Falcon by taking out the hired gun. So Falcon is going to die, but he's going to die valiantly by killing the hired gun, which is good. We've now drawn up to our hand size. We have a total of 5 cards for Miss Marvel and 6 for Steve Rogers because he's in alter ego form. We now move to the threat phase. We're going to have a total of 11 out of 14 on here. Moving to the villain phase, Green Goblin will try and attack. He's stunned, so he won't. And then he will scheme for Steve Rogers, so we'll just remove 1 State of Madness token. We'll now reveal our encounter cards, and we have another private security specialist. Hawkeye has 2 more arrow counters, so he'll come in with 2 damage. Heck yeah. And that is a guard, so we can't hit the Green Goblin while he's out. And we have another one. Okay, we'll use our last arrow, and he gets hit for 2. Apparently, when I shuffled this, I put all the minions down at the bottom. Our last step will be to go ahead and move our first player token over to Steve Rogers. Are you guys ready for some fun? We're going to have some fun. Let's start by drawing a card with Avengers Mansion. We've got Captain America's helmet. We're going to use both Hawkeye and Mockingbird. Hawkeye, it's his 3rd damage. I'm going to discard him. Mockingbird will take a 2nd point of damage. But we're going to do that for 2 points of damage and take out that private security specialist. So now we can hit the Green Goblin. Before that, though, I will use my Super Soldier Serum to go ahead and play Steve's apartment. And then we're going to exhaust Steve's apartment because we're in alter ego form to go ahead and draw a card and heal 1 damage from Steve. Oh, we've got Fearless Determination. And Steve will go to 4 health from 3. Because Steve is still in alter ego form, we're going to pay 3 resources to play Nick Fury. Nick Fury will then allow us to draw 3 cards. Come on, what 3 cards are we going to see? We're going to see Maria Hill, the Power of Leadership, and a shield block. Well, you know what we're going to do? Because we have enough room for another ally, we're going to use the Power of Leadership to put out Maria Hill. That means each of us are going to draw a card. So we'll draw 1. We get Squirrel Girl. Miss Marvel will go ahead and grab a card, and she gets Sneak By. Then I think it's time to flip. We're going to flip ourselves to Captain America. We can use ourselves twice, which is sweet. I'm going to go ahead and just use Fearless Determination to give ourselves +1 thwart, and we get to draw a card, and we're going to get energy. We're then going to use our other Super Soldier Serum and our energy to play Heroic Strike. This is a physical resource, so that will deal 6 damage to Green Goblin and stun him. Yes! He'll go from 44, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's down to 38. And a beautiful stun, which means he will not be attacking Captain America this round. I can have a total of 4 allies, so I might as well. I'm going to bring out Squirrel Girl, spending these 2 resources. That will deal 1 damage to each enemy, so that 1 private security specialist will take 1 point of damage, and then the Green Goblin will go down to 37. I now have a total of 4 characters left. Let's hammer on them. What do you say? 1 damage. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. They're all going to take some damage themselves, except for Captain America. I could do thwarting. I'm not going to do thwarting. 6 puts us down to 31, because I'm really hoping Miss Marvel's going to have an awesome turn. Because remember, Bruno Carelli has 2 cards in his hand, or that we can get back from him as well. So I'm hoping we can do some awesome damage here. Speaking of which, let's see what we're going to draw first. We're going to use our Avengers Mansion for Miss Marvel. We'll draw a card, and we get the Power of Aggression. That's beautiful. We're going to use Tigra. We'll exhaust her. She will do 3 points of damage to this private security specialist, heal 1, and then take a damage. And now we're free to hit the Green Goblin. 31 damage, you guys. I don't think we can do it, but we're going to get close. First things first, we're going to exhaust Bruno, and we're going to get both of these cards that we put in here. We're going to get these into our hand. We're going to use our Embiggen here, exhaust this, do a big attack of 4, spending these 2 resources. So it's actually an attack of 6. So we're going to hit him for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll put him down to 25. Then I think I'm going to exhaust Miss Marvel to go ahead and put that event back into our hand. Thank you. We're then going to spend the Power of Aggression to bring out Hulk. Hulk comes in with 3 damage, 3 attack. Let's use it. So we're going to attack now. Force response. Well, first let's hit for 3. 1, 2, 3, down to 22. We're going to reveal, or let's see, after Hulk attacks, discard the top card of your deck. We're going to discard it. That has the physical resource. Deal 2 damage to an enemy. Don't mind if I do. 20 for Green Goblin. Great. We'll use the Red Dagger. Use him for another 2 damage. That will knock the Green Goblin down to 18. We're going to spend our 1 free resource here with our suit, plus this Relentless Assault. And we're going to play our big hands again for another 4 straight damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's at 14. And I guess we'll do a little bit of thwarting. We've got our sneak by. We'll spend these 2 resources. I've got these 2 melees, but yeah, I don't have a lot out anyways. So this will reduce the threat on this scheme by 3. So we'll flip this to 2. I would say that was a pretty successful round. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. 5 and 5. 14 total health, you guys. That's all we got to do. Moving to the villain phase, we'll flip this over to a total of 10 threat on the hostile takeover. Now, the Green Goblin would attack Captain America, but he's stunned, so we'll discard that. And then he's going to attack Miss Marvel. He's got this 1 boost. We've got a new boost here. We're going to defend with Nick Fury, though, over on Captain America's side. So he's defending. We have place 1 infamy counter on the Criminal Enterprise. If you cannot, remove 1 madness counter. So this will go down to 1. And 3 boosts, so 4, 5, 6, 7. Nick Fury is definitely gone, but he did his duty. Thank you, Nick. Thanks for the save. Here we have our encounter cards. We'll start with Captain America. Oh, we have Oscorp Manufacturing, and we've seen this. That gets 4 threat. He's not in Norman Osborn's alter ego form, so we don't have to worry about adding additional threat. I'll just place 4. Okay. There must be 2 of those in that deck. Blasted. And we've got immediate coverage. Attach your identity card. Resolve each when revealed ability that you reveal 1 additional time. Oh, that is terrible. Oh, and you have to go to alter ego to get rid of it. I really like this encounter set. 14 damage, you guys. Can we do it? We will see. Let's move our first player over to Miss Marvel. Well, I'm going to bank on that we can, because I know I have 1 card left in my deck. I know what it is. It's Big Hands. That does 4 damage, you guys. So I'm going to do the Avengers Mansion. I'm going to draw this. That means I immediately have to shuffle my deck, and it means we're going to draw an encounter card, but hopefully I don't have to worry about it. We're going to spend 2 resources and do Big Hands, dealing 4 damage plus the Embiggen, so that's a total of 6 damage to Green Goblin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll put him down to 8. We're then going to exhaust Miss Marvel to put that right back into our hand. That is such a sweet ability. We're going to play it again with energy. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's great. We'll then be a little risky. We're going to use Hulk. We will deal 3 damage to the Green Goblin. That puts him down to 1. We'll reveal the top card of our deck. It's a mental discard Hulk. Well, we got, what, 6, 8 damage from Hulk? Yeah, for a 2 cost. I will take that. And for 1 more point of damage, that's all we need. Let's go ahead and use Red Dagger. That will be enough to defeat him. Well, that definitely got a little dicey. Way more than I thought it was going to, but I had a lot of fun. Miss Marvel is definitely fun. I love being able to reuse cards. Basically, you don't use her 1/1/1 I'm seeing, and then having her Embiggen cards are really cool. Captain America, we didn't do a scenario with a ton of minions, or I guess I just shuffled them all at the bottom of the deck, so you didn't get to see the shield toss and everything like that. I might use him again for the next Green Goblin scenario, because that one's all about minions, and it'd be fun for you guys to see more of what Captain America can do. He also, I don't think he hardly ever defended, because we had +1 defense and retaliate, but I don't think I ever really used that, so oh well, it is what it is. It's, sometimes you just play the cards that you got. had a lot of fun. Thank you for watching. It was definitely a challenge. You can see that the encounter sets can make a difference. Tombstone coming out. Yeah. I am so excited about this game. They have lots of fun stuff that they have already done just with one scenario pack, bringing in those modular encounter sets. Yeah, I am excited. This is still not going to replace Lord of the Rings because I mean, as you saw, we didn't even move to the second scheme card. And so because of that, there's really no story going on. Yeah, there's this emergent story, but I am missing that. I'm missing the progression that you get with Lord of the Rings. Regardless, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next Marvel video or something else, maybe. If I can get myself off of this, I'll catch you at the next stop.